Live with your host, Neil Johnson. That would be me, your favorite podcaster. I'm having fun today, folks. I mean, I can't get enough. The news is absolutely outstanding, and I'm perusing the web. That's the internet. Yes, the World Wide Web. And I'm on CNN's site, and I am loving what's going on right now. So, we're in this shutdown battle. And the problem is the Democrats aren't really winning the narrative war. Now, I will say this much on CNN's polling, if you want to believe CNN's polling, they're like, okay, the Democrats still have an advantage on the blame game if you're concerned about the blame game. All right. Homesteading in Northern Michigan. Good to see you on. Scott, good to see you. Karen, Lisa. Yeah, please do smash that like, chat in with where you're from. Let's see who's on the stream. But Chuck Schumer, this just happened. This is so awesome, is now pressing Donald Trump for a meeting on the shutdown before his Asia trip, after Trump said he publicly wouldn't meet until after the government reopens, and reiterated he will cut Democrat-backed programs. So again, here we have Donald Trump, fearless leader of the Republican Party right now, saying, yeah, Chucky boy, I'm not going to meet with you until the government's reopened. I'm just going to go to Asia, do my trip, and we're going to continue to cut Democrat-backed programs. It is unclear when the Senate will vote next on the GOP funding bill, which has repeatedly failed as the impacts of the impasse continue to grow. So this is going to get even better. But I want you to listen to this. So this is Harry Enton. I'm just going to turn up the volume here. You're just going to be able to hear the audio. But this is Harry Enton, the pollster guy on CNN. And listen to this, because I think there's something really important I want you to listen to here. They're going to frame this as a negative, okay? And they're basically going to call this like a do-nothing Congress. Listen up.
I think a lot of the American people would argue they haven't been doing much this entire Congress anyway. And we can look at the numbers, and they tell the story here. What are we talking about? Okay, bill signed into law since 1953 at this point in a presidency. The fewest, well, it's this Congress. It's this year. Only 36 laws have actually been signed.
Only 36
right?
laws.
And the median is 87, and this is dating all the way back since 1953. To give you a little bit of comparison, there were 51 bills and resolutions signed in a law at this point in the Joe Biden administration.
Okay, really important here. Okay, folks. The fewest ever bills signed into law is this Congress, 2025. Okay? 36. The median at this point in an administration is 87. You with me? So we are literally less than half the number of laws signed in here in 2025 as opposed to the median. So here's my question. Is this good news or bad news? Fewest laws signed in 2025. That means they're not getting bills passed through Congress to sign new laws. They're failing. I mean, 36, the median is 87, less than half. Okay? So, Simonize says that's great. Great? They're not passing laws? The Congress is doing nothing and you're calling that great? My gosh. I voted for this, Deborah. We don't need more laws, Faustino says. What? You people think this is good? CNN is telling you it's bad. Folks, it's the most awesome news. 36 laws instead of 87. How many of you people want more laws to follow? Huh? How many of you want Congress signing more laws, spending more of your money? Come on. What are they going to do? Pass some more woke-tard laws? The laws that they have passed have actually been good. It's freaking awesome. And guess what? Congress isn't in session during the shutdown. The only thing they're voting on is the shutdown. And they can't get the government reopened. Now, here's the big thing. Right now, let's see, how many million federal workers? Okay, some federal workers are getting paid during the shutdown, but more than 1 million are not. Okay? Federal workers are bearing the brunt of the government shutdown, with more than 1 million of them going unpaid, while Democrats and Republicans in Congress argue over funding federal agencies for the current fiscal year. No. They're not arguing over funding federal agencies. I want you to understand this really loud and clear. They are not arguing over funding federal agencies, folks. They are arguing over whether or not we're going to send money overseas, whether we're going to continue to pay illegal aliens health care. That's the kind of crap they're arguing over. But you know who's still getting paid? Congressional lawmakers. Now, they would probably actually come to a quicker conclusion if we just stopped paying them. Supreme Court justices are getting paid. They should be getting paid, okay? They're not involved in the shutdown issue. Active duty military members. Because Trump used $8 billion in Pentagon research and development funds to cover the October 15th payroll, which makes the Democrats look more impotent, ineffective. Remember the poll I shared with you the other day? The number one word that is being used right now to define the Democrat Party was what, folks? A little trivia question to see if you've been watching, your favorite podcaster when he posts these videos. What was the number one word used to describe Democrats, okay, over the past bit? Ted Cruz said he isn't accepting his pay, Josh. Well, that's good. I mean, but no, Ted Cruz has got all kinds of money. He's got plenty of money. I mean, Ted Cruz has been a lawyer. He lawyers when he's got all kinds of money, but he doesn't need the paycheck from his Senate. It's consequential. I mean, it's a couple $100,000, but I mean, it's not okay. Impotent, Deborah. You're close. But that's not the word. Weak is the word that is being used to describe the Democrats. Number one word to describe them. I like impotent better, though. Anyways, FBI special agents are getting, and 70,000 law enforcement personnel in the Department of Homeland Security, including Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the U.S. Secret Service, and other divisions, according to Kristi Noem. 830,000 federal workers who are paid through other spending packages, according to bipartisan policy review. So they're all getting paid. But listen to this. You guys want to hear the best? Woo! Get ready for some good news. What is the number one agency with the greatest percentage of agency staff furloughed right now? Come on. This is the bestest news of all. This is so good. It's so good. I'm about to give you, I'm going to give you the top three. I want to see if you guys can guess the top three with the highest percentage of staff furloughed right now. No, it's not the IRS. That would be awesome if it was the IRS. I'm sorry. It's unfortunately not true. It's not the IRS, but it's equally good. Okay. Yes. Johnny Strayhorn got it, and John the Baptist got it. It is the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which has done more to cause harm to businesses, farmers, ranchers than any other organization out there, which has been passing laws by just edict through these administrations ever before that says you can't, draw water from a pond, that says that you can't build a bridge over a small creek, that says you can't do any of this crap. The EPA, which we know through the Chevron decision, has been illegally passing laws, which aren't laws, because laws, wait, folks, I'm going to go back to the basics here again, because I always do this. I'm just a bill up on Capitol Hill. Only a bill. Because how, folks, does a bill become a law? How does a bill become a law? This is basic constitutional principles. How does a bill become a law? Because the EPA isn't able to make freaking laws. Neither is the ATF able to make laws. Neither is the Department of Education able to make law. Okay, Congress, that's right, Stephen, because the bill, this bill starts out in Congress. It gets debated, all these things, and it gets voted on. Gets sent over to the Senate. The Senate has to vote on it. And then what has to happen? It has to go to the president's desk, and the president, yes, Teresa, has to sign it. And if it doesn't pass out of both the House, the Senate, and the president doesn't sign it, what is it not? What is it not? It's not a law. Tell you what, this is so basic, and we've been getting screwed by these freaking government agencies for so long. I'm so sick of it. because they're costing us money at every turn. They're taking our tax money by force because the government has a monopoly on force. Big government sucks. Don't ever kid yourself. The worst thing is big government taxing you, taking your money by their edict of force, okay? Saying that you can't have fully auto weapons while they can, and they come and raid your house. Bunch of crap if there ever was any. Then they use this frickin' musket argument. Oh, muskets. Oh, it was written back, the Second Amendment was written back at the time of muskets. Who came up with that crap? Because do you know what the superior weapon was at that time? The best weapon you could get for small arms? Muskets, okay? And then do you know what happened when they came out with rifled muskets? Citizens could own rifled muskets. And what happened when they came out with repeating arms? Lever actions, my beautiful, lovely patriot audience. What happened? Citizens could do what? They bought lever actions. Okay, so they could buy the superior weapons at the time because the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And yet we get these stupid edicts coming out from these places. It's absolutely asinine. But okay, so the environmental, just getting a little worked up here, folks. I'm sorry. Woo! If there's one thing you want to see me get worked up about, it's big government. Yes, Spring Pickens says that they could even own a cannon back then. That's right. So why shouldn't we be able to own tanks? I know, I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy. I'm just Looney Tunes. Can you imagine me running for office? They'd pull this video up and go, oh my gosh, he thinks he should own tanks. He's upset that he can't own full autos. Well, the government owns full autos. What kind of crazy guy is this? No, folks, I'm not crazy. I want actual rights of American citizens to be paramount to the rights of the government because that's what it is. That's the social contract. It wasn't open the border, let illegal aliens pour in and give them the right to keep and bear arms, yet they didn't prosecute illegals in their gun crimes. Did you all catch this when this was going on? Smash that like. I'm giving you good stuff here. This is true. Okay, this is real. And our government has been screwing us over. That's why we wanted Donald Trump in there, because he was the one person that would take on this deep state apparatus. Other people are sitting there saying, oh, it's a side issue that he's going after Brennan. No, it is not a side issue that he's going after Brennan. It is not a side issue that he's going after Comey. These are the important issues of the day because that's the deep state apparatus that needs to be taken down. It's not just because they attacked Trump. It's because they lied to us, the American people, about the very person that we voted for. They sabotaged the entire administration that we voted for. Okay, we voted for this. We wanted this fundamental, systematic change throughout. We got 777 people on. That's the number of perfection times 3. Woo, baby. All right. Anyway, smash that like. We'll get more people on. Oh, I tell you what, man. This is why it is so important that we prosecute these people to the full extent of the law. The full extent of the law. Oh, and while you're at it, smashing that like button, go order some stuff from Mike Lindell over at MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865, 1-800-568-2865. Free shipping on your entire order. Best sleep products available. Okay, folks, you want to hear how bad this gets? Okay, in addition to all of this, let me go back to this. I'm not even finishing that news yet. Sorry. The next so that's 89% of the employees of the Environmental Protection Agency are furloughed. Let me guarantee you something. If they're working at the EPA, do you think they're liberal or conservative, folks? Do you think they're liberal or conservative if they're working at the freaking EPA? Take a wild guess. I mean, 93% of DC is voting for Democrats. So if they're working at the EPA, what are we talking about? I bet it's more than 93%. I'm just saying. All right. So, Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau of the Treasury, 87% furloughed. So we got 89% at the EPA. Education, Department of Education, 87% of them furloughed. Folks, this is winning. All right. Office of the Secretary of Interior, 81%. Commerce, 81%. Office of the Inspector General, 80%. Sadly, this is one of the saddest things. The Internal Revenue Service, it's only 46%. 35,000 employees, though, furloughed at the IRS. We could move that up, though. I mean, if we got that, can you imagine if we got that to 89%? That would basically almost double. So we would be at, let's call it 67,000 employees. Let's do it, Trump. Let's all call Trump's office, tell him to do that. Okay, hold on. I've got even crazier news for you. You guys know how these H-1B visas are working? How many of you are understanding and familiar with H-1B visas? So do you even know what they are? Just curious of the audience. They are H-1B visas where companies will hire foreign workers to do this work. Now, they will tell you, and Elon Musk even did this. This is one of the things. He's hired too many people through the H-1B visas, okay? But listen to this. This is wild. You guys ready? Take note, because this is something you need to call your congressperson on, okay? A reader from Connecticut shares job listings for tech positions from local newspapers. So, I know you guys always tell me my computer's backwards. I really don't care. The point is this. How many of you go looking for jobs in local newspapers? Okay? How many of you go looking for jobs in local newspapers? Go look in the classified sections of a local newspaper. Okay? Where do people go look for jobs today? Okay? Because there's multiple pages I can show you this. Application support lead for Voya retirement insurance. Okay? And you need this bachelor's degree or a foreign equivalent in computer science, computer engineering, or related field. Okay, exactly, Barb. Online application. They use Indeed, Monster, some of these sites that you go apply for jobs on. So, what? But here's the problem. If you are going to give a job to a foreign worker through an H-1B visa, what do you need to do? You need to offer it out to Americans first. So what they are doing is offering this out through local papers. I'm not even kidding you on this, because none of these jobs can be applied for online. There's not an online application. If you want to become a senior data analyst for Black & Decker, as an example, you have to pick up a copy of the Sunday paper. This is intentional, folks. These companies advertise jobs only in the paper, which nobody under the age of 75 reads, solely because they're legally required to post the job somewhere before they can hire H-1Bs. Since nobody applies because nobody reads the paper, they can go to the government and be like, oh, we couldn't find any Americans for the job. Pretty please give us some Indian workers. We need an H-1B. Then we'll pay them less and make them work more. And they'll take it because jobs over in India aren't that good. Okay, we need federal regulations to stop this. So if you want to do something really important, call the White House, call your congressman, call your senators, and tell them we need to stop this foreign invasion of H-1B visa workers. Because if you want to get really mad, do you know what the average income of these H-1B workers are? Come on, folks, help me out here. What is the average wage of these H-1B visa workers? I want to see if anybody can get this. This is really important. I'm going to double check it so I get the number right. I could ballpark it. I know what it is. Here we go. 20K? Nope. 300K? No. No, it's not a million. 65, 100, 180, 115. I think it's right around that 115 mark. 120. It's 120K. 120,000. Thank you, Patrick. You got it. $120,000. Now, okay, and you don't have to answer this question, but I am curious. I would like to see how many of you people in my audience, if you're willing, just say yes or no, make $100,000 plus a year. Just yes or no. If you're in my audience and you're willing to comment, yes or no. Okay. Take away inflation. That's about $35,000. No, 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 no way. That's a lot of rupees. No, 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 no. No, seriously? Okay, good. We got one yes. All right. I'm halfway there. Whoa, I'm halfway there. Whoa. Two yeses. Living a 3, 4. Living on a prayer. Used to. So maybe you're retired now. So let's give you that 5. Never did. No, 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 no. Okay. Both sides, add up all the numbers, one bill at a time. Da, 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 da. So I've got 5 yeses. So what you're telling me, now let me ask this question. Based upon that information, how many of you in my, oh yeah, Northeast Whitewater, yeah, you make over 100K in Connecticut, but that's like 40K in the rest of the country. Exactly. I mean, if you're in one of these high rent districts on the East or West Coast, $100,000 a year ain't nothing. And I'm serious. I mean, their rents are $4,000 a month. Okay. Seriously. Okay. So, but let me ask this question. How many of you would be willing to go get some education to make that money? How many of you as Americans would say, hey, you know what, if I could get a job with $100,000 a year and I could get in a job program, an educational program, that I would do that. Okay. I would go get the education so I could transfer. Okay. Yes. So look at this. Okay. Retired. Yes. Okay. So look at this. Here's the issue. They're bringing in all these H-1B visas, and you people are willing to go get the education and go to work in these fields. Do you see the problem now? All right. But back to shutdown. I got to get back to the shutdown thing. Okay. I want you to know something, because I want you to feel bad. Do you know what the highest pay position you can get right now is? On average, I'm not saying like the highest pay you could individually get, but the highest paid place to work is right now. You guys want to take a guess on this? What's the highest paid place to work right now? Yeah, anesthesiologists make big money, but I'm not talking that. I'm talking like employers. Okay, what's the highest paying employer you can go work for right now? That's right. It's the federal government, Barb. You got it. Now, it might have changed here in the last, that's from 2 years ago, but whatever. I'm guessing they're still very high. Okay. By the way, Walmart, I'm going to give you a shocker. Walmart has agreed not to hire more H-1B visas. They want to hire Americans for those positions that they were hiring the H-1Bs for. So whether you like Walmart or not, that's actually a really good thing. Okay. Now, CNN is running a sob story here. The cost of the shutdown is getting harder and harder for affected employees, furloughed workers says. Mike Gallatley, I'm going to read it in the sad voice that CNN was reported on their news. Mike Gallatley was furloughed from his job at the Department of Agriculture when the shutdown began because Gallatley, the president of his local American Federation of Government Employees Union in Utah, has been through 2 other shutdowns in the past. He took steps to prepare with savings, but he says others in the union aren't so lucky, especially younger employees without savings and older members closer to retirement. For those who aren't working at all or are working without pay, this is getting harder and harder, he told CNN's Wolf Blitzer. Nobody joins the federal government expecting to get rich. And so, we live within our means. Okay, folks, I can't anymore. But the bottom line is this, okay? It's one of the highest paid places to go work for. And we're supposed to feel bad for them when we're getting hosed out of all this money? Seriously, they take our money and they have a monopoly on force. I mean, what happens to you if you don't pay your taxes, folks? What happens to you if you don't pay your property taxes? Now, I get that that's a state level, county level tax, but what happens to you if you don't pay your property taxes? What happens to you if you don't pay your income taxes? All these different things. They will levy, they will take your property, they do all this, and we're supposed to feel bad for them? They continue to treat us like a piggy bank? Like, oh, hey, we'll just pass some more taxes? Come on, man. They take everything from you. But listen to this. You guys know Senator Tim Kaine? Well, he won't back the GOP bill to pay essential federal workers during the shutdown. This gets so amazing. I don't know if you saw this interview, but Senator Tim Kaine, who represents a large contingent of federal workers living in Virginia, so He lives in Virginia, where the federal workers are. He says he will oppose a GOP bill to pay essential federal workers during the shutdown, arguing Democrats can't trust President Trump to decide who gets paid. He said, I don't like the bill because it gives the president the ability to decide who's essential and who's not. And what we see is he is using it in a political and punitive way, said Kaine. We're going to cancel Democratic programs. We're going to send troops to Democratic cities. He would use this discretionary power to punish some and reward others. No, he's sending troops to Democratic cities. By the way, did you see that Trump just won in court with Portland, Oregon? Why shouldn't federal troops be in Portland, Oregon, folks? If you were living in Portland, Oregon, you would want federal troops. Look at what happened in D.C. and how good of an impact that had for the residents there. Instead, Kaine plans to back a Democratic counterproposal that would include pay for furloughed federal workers. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has thrown cold water on that idea, making it unlikely that either the GOP or Democrat version of the federal pay bill is passed this week. Kaine also told CNN that he expects that there will be a vote on his attempt to block military action in Venezuela without congressional approval in 2 weeks, adding that the next 2 weeks he expects several votes aimed at blocking some of President Donald Trump's tariffs. Wait, so Tim Kaine will not sign a bill to ensure that our military gets paid, but he would propose a bill to ensure that Venezuelan drug narco terrorists don't get blown up in the water. I'm telling you, folks, that tells you everything you need to know about Democratic priorities. Everything. Okay? Chuck Schumer is losing this shutdown battle. He's losing it. For the first time, we have an administration and a Congress that is willing to stand up to it. And we've never had it before. Partly because of people like me. I'm going to take a little credit here. I'm going to do it. People in the new media who are willing to cover this from a different perspective than CNN, MSNBC, CBS, and so on. We are moving the needle. And you people who are tuning in are helping that. So again, smash that like to help get this out there to more people, because people need a different perspective on the news. All they've been getting is their one perspective. Did you guys hear what happened at CBS News? How many of you have heard about the big shakeup at CBS News? I bet the majority of you haven't, okay? But there's been a big shakeup at CBS News. They hired somebody new. Does anybody know about this? Okay? How many of you are familiar with this? And if you can't answer who they hired, major shakeup at CBS News. I'm going to read something to you. I'm going to look this up real quick. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of you don't know. But Barry Weiss was hired at CBS News. Now, here's what's interesting. Barry Weiss, I want you guys to just understand this. This is really important, because you are seeing the liberal intelligentsia freak out because Barry Weiss has been hired at CBS News, and I believe she's the news director now. So she's in charge of CBS News. Okay. Vanity Fair did a puff piece on Barry Weiss, I think it was back in 2019, where they extolled her virtues as an independent liberal woman. And she hated Trump. But because Barry Weiss is actually willing to take on some of the Democrat narrative at times, they are freaking out. Freaking out. Let me give you some of the quotes, okay? CBS News staffers objecting to their new boss are either too progressive or really old, according to a network insider. So somebody from the network is leaking this out. Really young people who frankly might be more progressive than they should be, and the really old people who feel protective of a brand that no longer exists anyways, the CBS News insider said of colleagues who were aghast. Weiss was handpicked by Paramount CEO David Ellison to lead the news division. Again, we are talking, folks, about a liberal who's just not liberal enough, and the CBS News employees are freaking out. The insider said the older staffers who long for Walter Cronkite CBS News don't know how to grow with the times, and some of the younger colleagues object to Weiss being so passionately pro-Israel and anti-woke. Everyone in between was like, yeah, let's try something new, they said. The insider said a large majority of the newsroom is open-minded and well aware that Weiss launched a hyper-successful media company and clearly has a good pulse on the American zeitgeist. We probably need a new course of action. a new course correction and an unwillingness to acknowledge that would probably lead to perpetual third place, the CBS News insider said. Because here's how bad CBS News is, folks. They are third place in network news behind ABC and NBC. That's how bad they are. Okay? They added the reaction for some colleagues mirrored the state of broadcast news where a refusal to evolve has hurt many careers. I was never like, oh my God, she's going to destroy our brand. As a third place network, you'd think we'd be open to new ideas, the insider said. But instead, these people are saying, she's too old, she's too anti-woke, and they're going on, and some of them are even quitting the network. In fact, there's calls for everyone to quit the network en masse. Oh my gosh, that'd be so terrible. That's how whacked out liberals are. That's how biased the mainstream media is. The majority of people do not even understand just how biased it is. They think, oh, well, they might be a little liberal. No, folks, they're not just a little liberal. They are full woke-tard. So woke-tard are they that the woman who Vanity Fair did a puff piece on talking about her anti-Trump inclinations and the fact that she was an independent liberal woman is the bridge too far for them. I think that, I'm not even kidding. Dude, you can't make this crap up. That is how woke CBS News has become, how liberal and biased they have become. That somebody like that was featured in a puff piece by Vanity Fair, very liberal publication, is the bridge too far. The person who is too right-wing for them. Can you believe this crap? It's just unreal. So, anyhow, back to shutdown news, okay? The other thing they're freaking about is the White House ballroom project. And they're saying, I can't believe they're amidst the government shutdown, they're going to spend these millions of dollars on this ballroom project. Do you know that the government isn't spending money on the ballroom project? President Trump and donors are spending money on the ballroom project. They can't report anything right, folks. They can't report anything right. Again, please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow. Free shipping right now. 6-piece towel sets in stock. The Percale bed sheets for $29.88. Folks, these are like good sheets, okay? This isn't like the crap sheets, okay? You want the best sheets, it's the Giza sheets, okay? I'm telling you, they'll change your life. But $29.88, and they're running out of the colors and sizes. Once they're gone, they're gone. Go get some. Free shipping. Get some Christmas gifts. And get some of those My Slippers. You're going to love them. Get them as gifts. $39.98 right now. Huge money off on those. Just great stuff. The My Coffee. Love it. And even the big items like the mattress pads or mattress toppers and the mattresses. Free shipping. Free shipping. MyPillow.com/lumberjack or call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. I thank you all for joining me. I got to take my daughters to a movie. I get to go do a daddy-daughter thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go watch a movie. It's anime. I don't even know how this... Like, they're telling me about it. Whatever. I'm going to go watch this thing and see what it's all about. I'm doing it just to hang out with them, and then we're going to go out and grab dinner. So, whatever. It'll be great. It'll be great. I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, all right? We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.